Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the start of our summer season of anime for 2023. And what better show to kick it off than Mushoku Tensei? Now, I will say, they just kind of really drop us back into the series today, huh? They don't really give us, any information regarding the previous season, like a little flashback or just a little, reminder of what's happened. They just really throw us straight in today, which I like and dislike. Oh, the audience is kind of like Sylphy dropping into the kingdom at the beginning of the episode today. We're really just thrown right back in. So, on that note, to follow suit with the episode, let's just kind of hop straight into it today and talk about this episode because it's a very interesting start, honestly. Now, as I stated, our episode begins with us seeing Sylphy literally falling from the sky from the events of our first turning point where everyone in Rudius's hometown has been scattered throughout the entire world. As we see that below her is a royal palace, specifically a garden. And who should be in that garden but the second princess of the Asura kingdom, Ariel Asura herself. And it's here while they're in their garden, having a cup of tea, talking about pervy things, as royalty does. We see a giant boar creature actually teleported in, which I believe it was teleported in the same way that Sylphy herself was, as it starts to attack the princess and her attendees. Now, as she's falling, Sylphy's hair actually ends up turning white right here. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is the only thing in the episode that kind of confused me. Because again, I'm not a light novel reader. So I honestly don't know why her hair turns white right here. I don't remember if this is mentioned in season 1, because it'd have to be the first couple episodes if that's the case. So, unless it's a big spoiler, let me know in the comments why this is, because I genuinely don't remember why her hair turns white here. And it's here as she's falling. We see to break her fall, Sylphy starts using magic, and somehow lands exactly where the creature is, on its head, crushing its head in, and inadvertently saving the princess in the process. Quite a stroke of luck, if you ask me, personally. And it's here, in this moment, our episode really begins with a very beautiful shot, I might add. And it's here as we transition to our next scene. We see Sylphy waking up inside the palace, noticing her hair that even she is confused about, as we see that the princess is there with her. And immediately, she starts bombarding Sylphy with questions. Like, who are you and where did you come from? A pretty valid question to ask someone who fell from the sky. And it's here after telling her where she came from, the princess has to break the bad news to her, as she tells her flat out, your home no longer exists. Even locating your friends and family will prove difficult, because remember, they are scattered around the entire world. As she also tells her, but as for you, I believe you will be punished for trespassing in the palace. But to avoid that happening, the princess has a proposition, as she actually takes out a visor and tells Sylphy, if you don this and remain at my side, I swear to find your family. But then adds, but in the meantime, from this moment forth, you shall take a new name and face. And it's here Sylphy, who quite literally does not have a choice in this situation, agrees to the idea and becomes one of the princess's new bodyguards named Fitz. Now, I'm sure the light novel readers might disagree with me here, but as an anime only like I am, this scene feels very abrupt. They haven't even spoken to each other for probably a minute flat, and we're already being thrust into this. I don't know how the pacing is, but it feels a little quick in this episode, to me at least. Now, I also did kind of want to add that To me, it feels like we kind of jump forward in time a little bit right here. They never expressly explain that at all in the episode, but it feels like we kind of jump forward in time a little bit. But if I'm wrong on that, let me know in the comments. But to me, that's what it feels like. Because it's here we see that Sylphy has clearly nestled herself into the palace a bit. Like she's been here for a little bit of time already. That's what it feels like. And it's here as we transition to our next scene. We see Sylphy accompany the princess to what appears to be a banquet held in the royal palace. And it's here we end up meeting her half-brother named Granbel Zaffin Asura, who I believe they said is the next in line to be king of the Asura kingdom. Now, it's clear from the get-go that these two do not have a good relationship with each other, as he damn near accuses her flat out of trying to have a coup against him with Philemon Notice Greyrat, who's actually the father of one of her other attendees, Luke. Now, naturally, she denies this fact, of course, but it's clear as day that he does not believe her. And it's here as we transition to Sylphy in this situation. We see that she has it kind of rough, because being an elf, obviously, she has great hearing. And it's while she's standing guard, she can hear and feel the contempt, the just disdain that all the nobles have for her, obviously. And she starts freaking out and kind of panicking in a way, which makes perfect sense because from what I remember of Sylphy, she was always very timid, very reserved, and to be literally thrust into a situation like this that she is not prepared for would be overwhelming. To the point that we see that because of this, she's had constant nightmares every night, haunting her. To the point where the princess, noticing this, actually ends up telling her, you know, why don't you come to my chambers tonight? You're having a lot of nightmares, right? Perhaps sharing a bed will help you with that. And it's here as we transition to later that night, as we see Sylphy was brought to the princess's chambers. It kind of goes exactly like you would think it goes. Let me just say, this princess is pretty damn assertive. Again, a pervert. Something that this show seems to have a lot of, frankly. But it's here the princess tells her, alright, I think that's enough jesting on my part. Poor Sylphy, man. As the princess tells her, yeah, I really meant for us just to sleep in the same bed. I promise. As she adds, damn, that look on your face does make it tempting to do something, but I'm true to my word. But it's here in this scene, we see the princess actually start to genuinely talk with her, trying to actually help her, as she tells her, you know, I too have been having nightmares. Nightmares of that day that you showed up. As she takes Sylphy's hand and tells her genuinely, you know, I don't know your suffering, but I too experienced hardship that day. As she tells Sylphy that, you know, when life gets hard, don't be afraid to ask for help. Just as I'm turning to you for it right now myself. As she tells her, you saved me that day, Sylphy. So perhaps I won't have nightmares if I'm with you tonight. And it's here we see these two start forming a genuine bond with each other. Despite how they might have met, over the course of their time, it looks like they have become actual, genuine friends. Which is always nice to see, honestly. But it's here as we transition to later that same night. We see things start to take a turn for the worse. As Sylphy wakes up in the middle of the night and sees an assassin sent there by her brother. Not her brother, the princess's brother. Who immediately tries to kill Sylphy right here. And as they begin to start fighting, Sylphy's putting up a really good fight, honestly, in this situation. She's clearly learned a lot over these years. But it's here in the process of protecting the princess, she actually ends up getting hit with one of the knives, which is steeped in poison. And right before the assassin is about to deliver the finishing blow, we see Sylphy use what I believe to be the rest of her magic right here and completely send her flying out the window. I believe killing them, but only time will tell on that. And it's here as we transition to the next day. We see that they were able to treat Sylphy fast enough and got rid of the poison so that she's doing okay. As we see the princess actually meet up with Philemon Nodius Greyrat again. The man who she is planning a coup with and is one of her supports. As he tells them all, I have identified your assailant as the Night-Eyed Hawk, a famed assassin. As he adds, this incident leaves no doubt that we have enemies in the palace. And it's here he tells the princess something kind of surprising, actually, as he says, may I suggest that you go abroad, using your studies as a pretext. Basically telling her, flee for right now and bide your time. As he adds, I promise you, your time will come. As she reluctantly agrees to do this, telling him that she'll use the time to forge ties with foreign dignitaries and kind of build up her political strength, which is a smart idea in this situation, honestly. But it's here she actually goes over to Sylphy, takes her visor off, and tells her flat out, I relieve you of your duties as my mage bodyguard. As she tells her, I secured your services by threatening you with punishment for trespassing. I gave no thought to your own wishes. And I'm sorry for that. I can't even grant you your wish to find your friends and family. Powerless as I am, I can't help you. So I won't burden you any more than I already have. As she realizes that she's held Sylphy here with a promise that frankly she can't really fulfill. But it's here. Sylphy tells her flat out, no, I'm not leaving. As she tells the princess, you called me your friend, your highness. And you're my friend too. And when my friends are in trouble, I want to help them. When they are in danger, I save them. As she puts her visor back on and tells the princess, this time, I want to go with you of my own free will. And it's honestly a very nice scene. Sylphy has definitely grown a lot since the last time we've seen her, that's for sure. As the princess swears to all of them that she will become this kingdom's sovereign, no matter what. And it's here we hear Sylphy think to herself, I chose this path to keep my friends safe. And after that day, my nightmares ceased. And as we see them begin their long, arduous journey, our episode ends. And I gotta say, guys, I think this was actually a pretty good starting point for season 2. Because I could see a lot of people being a little upset that we don't get Rudius at all in this episode. But I think it's also so important and one of Mushoku Tensei's strengths as a series that they really flush out the other characters in it. They give them time to get development and shine. So the fact that we spend the very first episode of our show with Sylphy learning what she's done in this time since everyone's been sent across the world is honestly a really great way to start the season. And very interesting, actually. This was a great way to get people back into the show. I'm pretty interested to see what happens next. And as I said, we've seen how much she's grown over this time that everyone's been separated. It's really nice, honestly. So, I would love to hear your thoughts on this opening episode down below. I'm sure all the light novel readers down there are like, oh man, it's only gonna get better from here. And I'm just sitting here like, I enjoyed this. But looking at our title next week, we're gonna get our boy Rudy. And it feels like it's going to be kind of sad, actually. That title doesn't leave much to the imagination. The broken-hearted mage. So, I can't wait to get into that with you guys next week. So again, let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, Deuces, have a blessed day, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.